Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Nintendo 2DS. So this console was originally released in I believe 2012 as a cheaper counterpart to the 3DS because obviously it's the 2DS, it doesn't have the 2D functionality, so you cannot use any kind of 3D in games or whatever. But me personally, on the original 3DS, I don't notice that loss. It was not very good, so I really think that this was a very good console made. So now we're going to go through some of the features. So this has the sleep switch on the bottom, which is very useful. It's, essentially if you turn your phone off, it's a power button, but you don't have to shut down the whole console because it does not boot particularly quickly. One nice thing is because of these console age, you can homebrew them very easily. So I've got mine homebrewed here, and you can see that you can get games from various sources around the internet through either FPI or just putting them straight onto the USB stick. I may put a guide up for something like that in the future, I'm not sure. So here's a camera test with a QR code reader. You can see that the frame rate is very, very low. This was, in some games like I think it was like Face Raiders or whatever that's called, it does boost it, but the resolution gets noticeably decreased. I mean, obviously you're not going to be taking any kind of pictures with this, but it is just not a great camera, especially for 2011 standards, 2012, whenever this came out, when there were devices like, the iPhone, stuff like that. However, as this did come in at a noticeably cheaper cost, I think that was kind of why they did that. And they did implement multiple cameras, so you have two on the back for taking 3D photos. You can't watch them on this, and then the front camera for selfie. Let's take a look at some load times. I'm going to launch Mario Kart 7 because this was bundled with a lot of systems, so if you have one of these systems, you may also have this game. So here we go, I'm going to launch, and yeah, so this system, especially on games that are very well optimized for this, they launch very quickly. But I'll show you some more games in a second that are a little more demanding, because Mario Kart is pretty not demanding. So let's get into a race here so I can show you some performance. I'm just turning down the volume here. Yeah, just for demonstration, let's do 50. So you can see here that the amount of races compared to the modern titles like Mario Kart 8, 8 Deluxe, the amount of cups are noticeably decreased. I think this was about the same as Mario Kart Wii. So you can see I have almost all of them unlocked, so let's go into this one. You can see there are some somewhat substantial load times. However, once it does load, you can see there's another loading screen. It's a loading screen within a loading screen, I think, just for loading characters and things like that. So, for how small the console is, the graphics are honestly not that bad, so we can take a look here. You can see the, Bowser is noticeably low resolution, although you still can read the text. I don't have a way to mount my camera, so I can't play and demonstrate gameplay, but it is fun. It is, I think, more challenging than the newer games. But yeah, another thing you will notice is that the speaker, because it's just the one mono speaker up in the corner here, if you cover this, the audio gets noticeably worse. So like, you can see it gets very tinny, so depending on how you hold the console, you may have issues with that. Me personally, because it's just like this, however, if you have a finger resting here to kind of support the console with one hand, you will cover this, and then your audio gets noticeably worse, even at lower volumes. So, now another nice thing about this console is how nice it is to hold. In my opinion, this is the most comfortable out of the 2DS, 3DS line because of this wedge shape and how it doesn't fold. However, this kind of requires you to get a case for it, so the screens don't get scratched up, because they will get scratched in your bag. I have some kind of substantial scratches up here. I don't think they come out on video, but however, especially with someone with larger hands, having these buttons are all perfectly placed, so I can put my hand anywhere on this and hold it. It's very light compared to something like a Switch. You can also support it with your bottom fingers here. But yeah, I think especially if you have bigger hands, this might be the console that I would recommend, especially because of how the 3DS is not faster in any way, it just has 3D. So yeah, the performance is the same, but this is just so much more comfortable. Going over the ports here, we have the game cartridge slot, the charger, the stylus here, the SD card, and the headphone jack. And that is all the ports on this console, and then the volume knob. That's everything. That's all the ports you get on this console. There's nothing else, but honestly, for a game console, that's, pretty much expected. You have everything you really need. This has not changed with any more recent consoles, again, like the Switch or anything like that. It has almost exactly the same ports, so you're not losing anything there. Do I think you should get this console in 2024? If you're not planning to homebrew this, then I don't think so, simply because new games are obviously not being released for it. However, if you do homebrew it, you can get custom games, like I have a Halo, I have Minecraft. You can get lots of emulators. It can emulate all the old Game Boys, Virtual Boy, all those kind of things. And like my console is even running the most recent firmware. I can show you that in a second, and it still was able to be homebrewed just fine. And it's very simple process, not hard at all. You just need a computer or an SD card reader, and then you can load all that stuff. So you can see I'm running 11.17.0-50U. This is the most recent firmware for the console. I doubt it's going to get any more updates, but if you're running this, you can still homebrew. Don't worry about it, especially if you want the internet browser to still work. You have to update to the most recent version, so I would say just do it and then homebrew afterwards. You can still use the internet browser on this. Another thing I will say is, with homebrewing, there is a possibility of your console getting bricked, especially if you accidentally take out the SD card while doing the process or something like that. But I think as long as you follow the instructions, it's very, very easy. And then you can get all your custom apps, like you can get YouTube clients, you can get activity log, you can get all this kind of stuff. Alright guys, thanks for watching my review of the Nintendo 2DS in 2024. Please remember, like, subscribe, and watch my other video too on the iPhone 4S, on if you should still get that in 2024. Alright, thanks, see you in the next one.